I was like, I'm married to a non-flower buyer, and you were like, let me defend myself.
Yeah. Hi, what's up?
Hi.
We're membriash.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Mitch.
We're watching Love is Blind. It's the new drop. So this is season 7, episode 7, and it's called Truth Bombs. What truth are we getting?
Yeah, whose truth?
I did read a little bit more about the allegations that Tyler has like a whole ass family, and it seems complicated.
It does seem very complicated. I'm glad you're bringing it up because it's not as cut and dry as a lot of people are acting like.
It really isn't, but it is confusing.
It is confusing.
So I guess tell us in the comments if you want us to do like a separate short video on that. Should we just watch it?
I think so.
I don't care about any of
I
these
was going to say something.
anymore.
I was going to say something about Tyler before.
What is it?
Just around the stuff.
It's just too long of a conversation, I feel like, to have. It's maybe like a 10-15.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. There are also a lot of people that are thinking that it's possible it's just the editing that didn't show the fact that he has children. That he may have mentioned to Ashley being like, hey, I got a couple of kids. Maybe it's not on screen. And somebody said that he was introduced as a single father or something.
Oh.
Or that there's like a blurb on here at some point that mentioned that he is a father. So if that's the case, I don't think he would be hiding it from Ashley. And that dispels a lot of the weirdness. I mean, there's still potential problems. I'm not getting involved in his life, but if he's telling Ashley for this show,
right, then
it's not as red of a flag. You know what I mean? It's not as big of a deal. So there's just too much unknown for me to feel confident like coming at this guy.
Yeah, I still think it's frustrating like watching the scenes with them because the context is totally different now, and like I can't tell what's right and what she knows and what she doesn't know, and like it's confusing to me.
And we don't need to defend somebody that doesn't need to be defended. You know what I mean? We don't need to come in if she knows what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. This season's a mess.
This season kind of sucks. Let's see how much it sucks in episode 7. 7. Lucky 7?
Yes.
Will you marry me?
Absolutely.
A lot of people are frustrated about our initial Garrett and Taylor perspective, and I hear where people are like, just because you think they're boring they're like normal people kind of thing. Like we have we're just reacting. Like we're not trying to make huge judgment calls, but we talk about stuff because it's more fun to have an opinion than just like not talk about what's happening.
I don't like recall us we don't hate them.
No, we were mean to them. No, I'm not saying they were like people were mad at us. I'm saying like
are we supposed to like it more than we like it?
No, just people a lot of people, they were like their favorites. And for us, we're like kind of bored, kind of like, I'm not like attaching to these people, but
I like them a lot better on the honeymoons though.
Yeah.
I did. And I feel like they actually did Taylor a disservice in the pods because she has a really funny sense of humor, and they didn't show any of that.
They showed a little bit of the dryness.
Her so serious.
Yeah, it's true. It was mostly serious
in the pods, and then on the honeymoon, you realize that like she's actually very funny.
She's hilarious.
Have concerns for like our relationship and like what we need to address.
I'm not the only one delusional.
Some people said I'm not the only one that's delusional. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
They are both delusional. She's kind of correct calling him delusional. She is delusional. They're both delusional, right?
Yeah.
They're both delusional.
Lot of delusion happening.
It doesn't make it great.
To be fair, to go on this show, you got to have a level of delusion.
Yeah.
You know?
And I also want to say a lot of people are I'm not saying they're looking into it inappropriately, but they're looking a lot more behind the lines, behind the words of the Tim and Alex fight, and they feel like Alex was like vaguely abusive or straight up abusive to Tim.
I think the hand over your mouth thing, like that's a gray area for me for sure.
Yeah, you shouldn't be physically controlling people unless they're having like a health crisis or something.
And then I think her saying like, "Oh, I guess I did that to control you," was like, okay, like I don't.
She's even aware of it.
Yeah,
she's like, I was controlling you.
Yeah,
I think unless somebody's not letting you get away, the more appropriate I think action is to step away than to like physically restrain someone.
Just walk away from the conversation.
I do want to recognize that.
I do wish that we would have seen footage of the fight because it is really hard when stuff happens off camera.
What happens?
Then they're having these vague conversations around what went on, but like the way that Tim looked after that too was like a huge indication.
Like shut down.
So
he was.
disconnected. Yeah.
There's like a lot of sweet moments in the Navy and like being out to sea and like being with your crew and your service members.
She's remembering boat life. Hashtag salt life.
On a boat,
I don't really get salt life, but it just seems like people who like fishing. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Like you
Anybody out there salt life?
You get the sticker.
You get the sticker, and it's like a bony fish. We're not boat people, though. I'm vaguely thalassophobic.
Yeah.
Maybe not even vaguely.
I'm terrified of the ocean.
Is that what it's called? Thalassophobia?
Yeah. Like deep water fear.
Yeah.
Looks so good, baby.
Yeah?
Yes.
I mean, that's beautiful. Next to the rocks.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. I'm still afraid of the water, though. Like, what's under there? You know, you don't know.
Mostly fish.
Yeah. Creepy.
Sea plants. Yeah!
There's too many layers of them, you know?
Too many layers of fish.
I don't know what's beneath me. I can't deal.
What happened last night between Alex and I, that shit wasn't cool.
Okay. Too far.
They're finding that the way they handle intense conflict is not healthy.
I knew he was upset, but I didn't know the extent of how upset he was until he spoke on it.
She's talking after the fact, relatively respectfully, without being dismissive. He's upset, and I didn't realize how upset. She's not saying, like... Or do you think that she should be taking more ownership, being like, I did this, you know?
I think if you know that you, like, went beyond not only your partner's boundaries, but then, like, kind of boundaries that anyone would have in a healthy relationship, I kind of feel like there should be a little bit more... I would like to see a little bit more, like, upfront accountability from
She did
her end.
say that to him, though. She just said, I'm sorry, and I was controlling you, and... I want to try and work with you. Like the first conversation we saw on that, she was taking accountability.
Yeah.
She was even filling in context that didn't make her look good.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, when I put my hand on your mouth, and he was like, yeah.
I just don't like, and maybe this is like kind of nitpicking, and like it probably is, but I feel like she keeps saying this situation instead of like what I did.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
And like that's kind of. It wasn't just a situation.
Yeah. People distance themselves with even small things, saying this situation instead of what I did. Or like this occurred instead of I did this. Yeah. Those things matter.
Right.
They really do.
Not saying I wouldn't do the same thing in the situation, because you would. I mean,
what situation? The situation?
Well, I don't know, because I wasn't there, man.
I'm kidding.
I didn't see it.
We're critiquing her for saying this situation.
Well, yeah, because I don't know what it was. Like, she knows what it was. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
So.
And she's at least not blaming him to the point that even if she's using words that aren't taking accountability, you can tell she's not putting it on him because it's not his fault.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the way, that's the vibe I'm getting from her even.
On Christmas Eve, we do this.
We should create our own, like, ornament. Tree ornament. I just thought.
This is confusing, and I do wonder, and like I'm not trying to make excuses for this man, but I do wonder if part of it is like not wanting his kids to get picked apart and the situation with his kids to get picked apart. Right.
But it's going to, regardless, you know?
Well,
people are going to find out he has kids.
It feels as a viewer strange to know that he already has 3 biological children.
The way he's saying it, like...
And, yeah.
But it's all technically true. When we have kids, does not negate the fact that he already has children.
But, like, not to even mention that in the context of Christmas, when there are literal pictures online of him celebrating Christmas with his other children.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And he's being accused of erasing their existence on his social media in order to go on the show. So that's like weird. If he like deleted their presence on his media that used to be there.
But then I'm trying to say, I think like
maybe that was
like that was like,
don't bring my kids into this kind of shit,
because
it sucks when people's like kids don't sign up for this shit. The parents do.
You know what? The bungee jump gives me the same feeling when we're love, baby.
See, and then they say these like nice things to each other, and then they're like, "I hate you," and you're talking like, you know.
I think there's a world where they could be okay together. I'm not willing to say good, but like okay.
If they both changed as people, I agree.
I feel like there is something that's been kind of weighing on me and like bothering. I just want to like address it.
Okay.
Ooh, what are we gonna address? Monica.
In the pod, I remember you specifically telling me like, we're together, like I'm gonna get you flowers.
You are okay. They're on the honeymoon. Monica, they've been together for like 5 minutes, and she's like, "Why are there no flowers?"
Flowers to me, I get it.
It's not about the flowers.
No, it's about.
It's just about making me feel special.
Okay, I'm a little confused When he was drunk, he seemed like he was doing like a lot of little caretaking things.
He does do a lot of little caretaking, but she's saying she likes gifts. A gift is different than like I grabbed you a blanket.
I'm helping you out.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of you.
Yeah.
That's true.
Isn't that like acts of service
right.
or something like that?
Acts of service versus gifts. She wants gifts.
Yes.
I think the last time my family was able to like really provide gifts for everyone.
Yeah.
Years ago.
It's good that she's bringing it up.
And then he's talking about how like gifting culture is different for him because of like the finances with his family. It's actually an interesting concept because like, I don't know, you and I have different feelings slightly about like gifting. I'm not like in love with gifts, but I do like,
you like them a lot more
like
than I do.
getting like flowers. I like getting,
generally
like, sweet little gifts.
Yeah.
What you
No,
generally want?
I generally view gifts as manipulation. So.
And that's unfortunate. I mean, that's an unfortunate part of like
I know
your
it's hard for me.
life experiences.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound materialistic, but I also want like to
feel
feel special.
Yeah.
And you're not too dissimilar from her. What she's
Yeah.
saying right here, like, and she's not approaching it, I think, inappropriately.
She's
I
not
think
like you have to get me like diamond bracelets or
Yeah.
something. She's
Like
like, I
little
just like to
things.
feel special.
Like it's
when,
like you go to the grocery store and you pick up something like oh, I got a little treat for you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, it's like when you went on vacation with your parents, I'd planned a lot of it, and you were really sweet, and you got me this little gift basket thing
Oh,
before
I
you
did.
left.
I'm not
and
usually
it was
that
really
sweet.
nice.
I'm not usually that
It
sweet.
was really nice. There was like a little pedicure situation in
Oh,
there.
you're
There
making
was
me sound
chocolate.
nice.
It was really nice, honestly. It was really
Oh, and I
sweet.
got you some incense.
Yeah,
and, like,
it was like those, on like TikTok and Instagram Reels, there are the people
Oh,
that are
yeah.
like, I'm putting together this thing for my girlfriend or whatever. And like, it feels so fake, but like, you did it real. Yours was real. It did make me feel really special though,
Yeah.
Just like the thought of everything was
Aw.
very nice.
I'm glad. I forgot I did that. I'm not usually that good at gifting, so.
And you made time for it
Yeah.
in a time
I was
where
busy.
like you were busy, yeah.
And you're not looking me in the eyes.
Yeah, I know, because I'm trying to think.
Her requiring eye contact and conversation, I feel like I hear what she's saying, but you shouldn't. It's hard to require. I struggle with eye contact.
If you were looking for eye contact from me, you're like most of the time just not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm uncomfortable, it's not happening.
But she's like kind of like look at me. She didn't say it. She said it in a more appropriate way, but that's kind of an intense.
I would
vibe for
feel
me.
attacked, honestly, because if I'm uncomfortable, I'm like, especially in like a
That's a common
situation like this,
Yeah,
I
where
need
there's
to
a
be
tensity.
able to not. Like
Uh-huh.
at work, if I have to, I will in a tense situation. But if it's like, I don't know, I don't like that at home.
I can barely make eye contact with the fucking camera, and I'm just like, blah. You can see me. My eyes barely make contact with the camera.
The camera's easier for me because I don't feel judged by the camera.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm looking at someone and I'm not sure what they're thinking and I feel like I might be being judged in that moment, like, it's really hard for me to maintain eye contact. But, like, the camera is just static camera.
I still, for me, the camera's just like a person. It's like it's stealing my soul when I look into it. No.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, that looks so scary. No, thank you.
Okay, now I trust you with my life because you got us over that bridge.
I wonder how that conversation is gonna go.
Yeah.
Like, was that it, or are they gonna talk about it again?
It was way too big. They're gonna bring it up again. It just depends on when.
I was really scared.
Yeah, there can be a bridge to a new beginning.
I mean, he's open to continuing with the relationship.
We had what we had, but like let's leave that where it is and like start anew.
Because it could have been a really ugly fight, and if she doesn't do it again, they can reconnect and grow from that. Like, one fight doesn't make, not all the time, sometimes it does, but one fight doesn't make a relationship terrible. Even a bad fight, it's like, what do you do with that? How do you grow from that?
Yeah,
There's certain things that are
absolutely.
unforgivable in a fight. I don't know if what they did was, and he's saying it wasn't unforgivable. So there you go.
Well, and if he believes like she's gonna respect that boundary, it's just hard when it's boundaries that you're like, I shouldn't have had to set this with you.
Like,
Like,
don't
I
put
shouldn't
hands
have,
on me.
Yeah, I shouldn't have had to explicitly tell you not to like cover my mouth during a
Yeah.
fight. I can understand like a number of reasons why they wouldn't have wanted to show the fight, but it's hard because the way that she presents herself in other situations is like very kind of cool, calm, and collected.
So different than
and
that.
it is hard to picture
Yeah.
what happened between the two of them.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's hard for me to look at her and think like it was as intense as it obviously was.
Do you feel like you're teaching a lot of things?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. And I'm sure like he'll teach me something too eventually, but
I don't understand
I'm
this
sure he'll
perspective.
teach me something.
I don't understand this perspective. I really don't.
How is Hannah a teacher?
The more I see Hannah, the less I am enjoying seeing her.
I really dislike her
on the show because it's such a condescending thing to feel about your partner. I know Nikki D is not perfect. Like,
yes,
I get
he is
it.
not. Nikki D sucks for a lot of
complaints.
reasons. Hannah is the worst type of teacher I've ever fucking seen. Unfortunately, there are a lot of teachers like her out there. No, her calling herself a teacher and saying she's teaching him. She's a shit teacher.
What you're saying?
Yeah, no, she's like the worst kind of teachers, like controlling and dismissive and belittling.
And to think that you can't learn, like, you're two adults, to think that you can't learn something from the other person is honestly like a weird kind of feeling. Yeah. Like, that's just not, and that's not how you should feel about like your partner too. Like, oh yeah, I'm teaching them all kinds of stuff.
I'm sure I'll learn something eventually.
Holding all the other people together.
I was talking with Garrett about something serious. I'm sorry.
Wait, what's going on over here? He's like, I was talking to Garrett.
She's just mad at him. Why?
Why?
We're good. I love you.
She's not good. I don't know what you expect her to say in that, but she is just straight up like,
commercial me, baby.
Let's play some ads.
He's so scared of me. He's so scared of me right now.
Should be.
I'm not fucking around with him anymore.
What's going on?
What is going on? Why is she being so mean to him? He's being so nice to her. What is happening?
Taylor and I cuddled each other outside by the fireworks.
Why is he having to explain why he wasn't with her in the fireworks? Like, what is going on?
Your man and I were having a very serious moment. I felt like it would have been rude to say, hey, hold on.
He was trying to listen to his friend Garrett, and so Garrett was getting psyched out, and he was like, I'm not gonna bail on my bro Garrett over here, is basically what he's saying. And shouldn't you want your partner to be good to the people in their life? I don't know.
Why is she being so hard on him? If you don't like him, you don't like him. But, like, he didn't do anything wrong here, right?
Did
he do anything wrong here?
Somebody said she's not acknowledging that she already has the ick, but she already has the ick, and there's no saving this relationship.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I'm trying not to be on that page because I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, like, and believe what she's saying. But then in moments like this, I'm like, you can't really, because she plays these games, right?
You're seeing her say, like, everything's great, babe. Oh, and then she's like, I can't stand him. He's being, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the man.
Like, there are women that are homewreckers out there that are like, I don't give a fuck what your situation is. I want to suck your dick.
Sorry. I have the ick for him. What is he talking about? He does do this a lot, doesn't he?
He's getting pedantic and kind of annoying.
I'll get a French try. I'll be back.
Okay. You need to understand why.
Oh no, Taylor's trapped now. Taylor! Monica just abandoned her friend to sit there while Steven processes his entire life.
Not once have I questioned how I feel about this woman.
I feel bad for him, I do, because he is bending over backwards for her.
He's kind of annoying, but, like, he's not, so far he hasn't seemed like a bad dude.
We do it in the morning, and you can lay with me, or at least lay with me until I fall asleep.
She wants him to dote on her 24/7.
Well, it's also just countless minute corrections. It's not the most controlling thing in the world, but it's redirective, constant redirecting.
Well, it's constant him bending to suit what she needs in the moment. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen in a relationship. Also, maybe the editing is making it look like it's a lot more in her direction than his.
It's looking entirely in her direction.
It really is. And also,
because I don't see her doing any bending in his direction at all.
And he is being really self-critical and self-deprecating a lot.
You're
and,
right, babe. You're right.
Into that.
You're right. I'm doing this wrong.
He's like, oh, if I hadn't made such a mess. And she's like, yeah. And it's literally just like, why would you? He's already putting himself down.
This relationship
you don't need to add to it.
Getting worse and worse.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like it. I only like Taylor and Garrett, and I still like the way Tyler and Ashley are around each other.
I do too.
And then you've got Marissa and Ramses. Those are the three relationships that I'm
at all
having any hope for.
I'm more emotionally intelligent.
This brings up
and intelligent.
So she thinks she's more emotionally intelligent and smarter than him and more mature than him and just everything better than him, apparently.
Yeah, she just thinks she's better than him in every way.
Can you mount a TV?
Can she mount a TV? Hannah, can you mount a TV?
He works.
Right. Like, what?
Not every, so like I'm really proud of the amount of like skills that I've learned and shit, but we talk about I fix our own roof, I build our furniture and like cabinetry and shit because we don't have the money for it. Right. If I was bringing in money and we paid somebody else, like whatever, same difference, right?
Also, some of these things are things you learn. Like, he's not even 30, right? So like You can learn to mount a TV. Like, you can look at the instructions, you can watch a YouTube video and figure out how to mount a TV. Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't understand why he needs to have done that already. We didn't do that until a year ago.
She keeps saying, what are you bringing to the table for me?
Oh.
What is she bringing to the table, too?
I feel like she's creating outs for herself because, like with that one person saying that Monica has the ick for Steven, I feel like Hannah kind of has the ick for Nick. It's weird because there is a world where I feel like they could be cute together. And, like, I don't understand why she keeps, like, self-sabotaging in a way.
Even while they're sitting there laughing, it feels kind of aggro.
Yeah, it's strange. And you know, the weird thing is, like, Nicky D, he's a special kind of guy. Like, I don't think everyone would be okay with him. But the more he's on TV, the more I like him, truly. Like, the more he handles tough situations, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Like, he's pretty great. Like, I like him.
Pretty cool under pressure. The conflict doesn't seem to faze him that much at all. He's like, huh, whatever. No. He's like, what, you're not going to let me be myself? Instead of, like, getting mad, he just asking challenging questions about the way she's approaching him.
Yeah.
And he's not escalating and fighting. It's really actually pretty decent.
He has his own red flags, but she has so many more that it's kind of hard to see his at a certain point.
You said you like roses, but like...
I love roses, like white roses. I love hydrangeas. I love sunflowers.
Okay, she likes flowers.
She just really wants flowers. I also like flowers, and I'm also with a man that is not a flower purchaser.
No, but what I do is I literally garden around here and fill the entire... You said...
Yes.
Okay, let it be known. One of our first dates, I went to a stranger's house and knocked on the door in her hometown and asked her for sunflowers.
That was not our first date. That's when you told me you loved me.
Early, but I'm early on. We weren't dating very long, and I brought you sunflowers. What I did here at this house was I filled the entire backyard this summer with sunflowers, and you said it was beautiful because we went from asking a small ranch home owner for some sunflowers to buying a small ranch home and filling it with sunflowers.
It was really sweet.
So I just want it to be known.
And it was a bright spot in a difficult summer.
Yeah, it was.
So I do appreciate that.
You grilling me.
Sweet. I was like, I'm married to a non-flower buyer, and you were like, let me defend myself.
Yeah.
Let me turn down the covers for you.
Thank you, kind sir.
I don't get turning down covers.
Well, we don't make our beds, so.
No, we do, but how do you turn down? Do we not make it the right way?
Okay, and when you say we do, you mean like the
on
once
occasion.
Every 2 weeks
no,
that we...
No, once a week. Once a week. I'm not going once every 2 weeks.
We make the bed once a week.
Maybe twice. Like, if it's, we're constantly playing catch up here.
I know.
Oh, when we post a long form video every day for a month, like, we're not gonna make the bed.
I never wanted to like marry someone where it's like, I'm planning the wedding, he just
plan the whole wedding, he
shows
shows up. Yeah,
like,
no.
that's such bullshit.
Yeah.
It's indicative of like maybe how
they feel
show up in the relationship.
Or that they don't like party planning. If someone said to me, like, it's really important to me, we have a big wedding, I would be like, I'll be there, but like, I'm not doing any of it. I'm not.
Because you don't want that.
I don't want it.
But that's a difference in opinion on how things... But if they both want a wedding, they should both be planning it.
I agree. But I don't think it's like 100% like there are problems in your relationship.
It could be perspective.
Yeah. Or like, I mean, I would get really... Like, to me, planning a wedding would be so stressful. Mm. I mean, I couldn't be near that stress. Like, I know that about myself.
It's going to amplify you too much. Yeah.
I'm going to try and take too much control over stuff, and then I'm going to get upset when it doesn't go to plan, and I wouldn't
And then you're going to say, I have too much responsibility even though you took the control.
Exactly. And then I'm not going to have fun on my own wedding. So, like, for me, if somebody needed that, they would need to plan it then. Otherwise, we're going to the courthouse, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
As we did.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you.
Oh, this would be so nerve-wracking, meeting the family.
Garrett was my number one since day one.
Aww.
They couldn't have matched with anybody else.
Yeah.
This is such a good match in that
Where
sense.
else would they have been?
Yeah, no. This is like the only thing that made sense.
Taylor was literally the only one that like I felt like my heart getting ripped out of my chest every time I went in there to talk to her.
Oh,
that's sweet.
That's so sweet. I feel that. They seem really cute together.
They
honestly.
do.
There hasn't been something that we've talked about that like we're not in alignment on.
Oh, his mom is getting emotional.
I don't want him hurt, and I'd hate to see you be hurt either.
She's being very compassionate to Taylor. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. You don't see that a lot with like meeting the families.
Yeah.
I hate this. and we will grow to love you too. Just so fast.
That's really sweet though, because that's really honest. We'll grow to love you. Like we don't know you, but we'll will learn who you are? Do you think that's good, or do you think that's bad?
I actually think that's like, to me, that's like the only reasonable thing.
Yeah.
I would almost rather hear that, I think, than the people that are like, we love you already. And I'm like, ooh, but I don't know. You know what I mean? And here she's like, we just don't know you.
We've learned to be more distrusting of people too. So I'm not going to love people day one, even if a family member's like, I love this person. I'm like, okay, well, I need to know them first. No, it's true. It's true. Like, I'm not going to say I love somebody if I don't know them. I just have, like, no red flags on Taylor.
I don't either.
Like, I'm trying to wonder, like, she just seems like such a genuine, nice, sincere, intelligent, like, great person. You know?
Yeah. You look pretty hot cooking. Don't I look cute standing by watching?
Just standing
you cook?
watching.
They're being so cute and playful,
They are cute.
They're amazing so far.
Yeah, they're good.
I really want his thing to be just bullshit editing, because everything I'm seeing leans in that.
But there was that clip of her with Bowden, and she was like flirting with him, but her personality is so flirty that it would come off that way no matter what, because she laughs a lot.
Yeah, would you have proposed to me? And he says yes, and she goes, ah ha ha ha. That could be literally like, okay, well, you seem great, I'm glad we're just friends, Ramses and I are fantastic.
Totally.
It could literally segue into that, or it could be her like coming on to him.
But it would be harder with her to tell whether she's flirting with someone, because she's so gregarious naturally.
You've talked about that. Like, a woman laughing is treated as flirting on a man from outsiders.
Right,
like,
which sucks, because if you're like, I mean,
or just laughter in general.
I'm a laugher, man, so like, it's tough. Like, I would hate to tell anybody not to like laugh or have a good time, you know?
Yeah.
Just because it might be perceived as you flirting with someone.
Wedding question. Are we doing a religious, sufficient, no religion, spiritual?
Oh, that's right, because he moved away from Christianity, or just religion in general? I don't remember.
Spiritual, I guess?
My mom does feel a certain way. She's still very Christian.
So he's got to navigate that, having the family there. That's complicated.
And even though the wedding is for us, like, it is also for our parents, our mothers. Do you feel like we should ask her?
That is very sweet of her.
Yeah.
To consider his mom like that.
Yeah. They both are. They're both being like, okay, well, this is our feeling, but it's not just us. I love the way they're talking about it.
I can't look at the military and say, like, it completely sucks because it changed my life and provided me opportunities. I don't support half the shit the military does.
They're having like
Holy
heavy
shit.
conversations.
This all from just like, how is our wedding gonna look like? Like, man.
I will always heavily critique how the U.S. has sort of destabilized entire countries.
I'm not surprised. Like, we agree with like half the shit's going on right here, right?
If I was gonna be a thruple in any of these relationships,
it'd be this one.
It'd be this one. Let's be honest.
Well, she seems the most open to thrupling because she joked about Bodhi.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This one would be my first pick. Garrett and Taylor would be my second for thruppling into. Yeah.
Thruppling into. Hey guys.
I think Marissa and Ramses would be more open to it than Garrett and Taylor. They'd probably be like, the fuck are you doing here?
Garrett and Taylor would be like, this is not logical.
The people.
The people.
Are,
because they were just like me. And what they sign up to do is not easy.
I hear what she's saying, too, and that's actually a lot of the way I feel. I'm like, I do not support what the American military does in a lot of places. The military and people that enter into it is a lot more complicated because of the systems that we have in place.
Like, you have no control over what you do. They can tell you to run into a building and kill people, but
you're signing up for it.
This is an important conversation. I mean, this is a place where they diverge in their thinking, and he is definitely on a different page than she is.
He's a lot more critical about military than she is.
Yes.
I don't think we really understand like what we're signing up for when we do it.
I absolutely agree with her.
Yeah.
It's sold as a way out for a lot of people. Do your years and get the college.
I'm feeling judged.
Are you?
I'm feeling judged.
I do think he is judging her a little bit.
I think he is too.
Do I even have a right to say, like, I'm anti-military in the politics that they do and what we've done to other countries if I willingly and voluntarily signed up to go do that?
Yeah, you can absolutely. I think you can absolutely say that. I don't think that makes you a hypocrite.
Well, you can change your perspective.
Which is what she's saying, right?
Yeah.
Is that her perspective was changed by being in the military, but at the same time, she doesn't hate the military.
Yeah.
She doesn't hate her experiences.
Yeah. She's talking about very complicated shit. Yeah. I like that she's talking about this.
While I didn't push a button to shoot off a missile, I supported operations that did kill people.
Because she's recognizing her role too. And she's like, how do I reconcile that I did that?
Yeah.
And then the fact that I don't agree with a lot of what like they do and I did.
The culpability that I think she feels.
Yeah.
And then also like knowing that like people are still in it and knowing that like you know, kind of what he's saying, oh, they had a choice. Like, I think a lot of people feel like they don't, though. Like, there are probably a lot of people in the military that feel like that was their only choice at the time that they made it. And there are a lot of people that believe in it, too. And, like, that's a different thing. It just feels like for her, she's like, you know, I was someone that, like, needed this.
I don't regret joining the military.
Oh, this is a big thing between the two of them.
It's not something I want you to, like, be ashamed of. Because that's, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is intense.
This is hard.
I don't think I can handle, like, you being ashamed of my service.
I don't think so I'm like very anti-war and military industrial complex and all that shit, but I don't know that I could sit across from somebody and like super judge them. The way that she's coming in is so reasonable from a former military individual.
I feel honestly like I see both of their perspectives.
I hear you
pretty clearly, and like I can understand why she's upset. I also get where he is coming from.
Yeah, my dad and brother. My dad was in the Air Force. My brother is in the Air Force. So it's complicated for me. Like I'm from a vaguely military family.
Totally.
And then I'm super anti-military in power. You know, in a lot of ways, and I'm just gonna be straight up with that. I'm not like shitting on the troops or whatever, but like I don't like the military.
Yeah.
For a lot of, I think, good reasons.
It's hard because I think he's basically like, I categorically do not support U.S. military operations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hear that.
And
I hear
the
that.
way that other countries are affected by U.S. military operations.
Oh my God, that's intense.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But then she is also someone that like dedicated a lot of her life to doing something that she felt, especially at the time, was extremely important. And she saw the people she worked with, and like she has a personal connection to those people, and she's basically like, I still am gonna support those people. Like I still am gonna support people in the position that I was in. I still don't like regret my military service.
Yeah, it sounds like to me that she's saying there are good people in the military.
Yes.
And he, from my perspective, is kind of saying like, are there good people in a system that does evil things?
Yeah.
Because
and
you're
if you sign
contributing
up for
to that
it willingly,
system.
like no one drafted you.
Yeah.
Like you chose to be there.
Yeah.
And
one
like,
way or another.
How could I reconcile that? It's such a deeply held,
that is a huge
system
conversation
of belief
right
and like place of ethic for him that, and for her for that matter.
But then it's even more complicated because you think about the conditioning that people go through when they're in boot camp and years of the military. You don't go out the same way you came in. And like, how much can you blame the individuals for being conditioned? They sign up thinking it's one thing. You get conditioned to listen, and then I don't know. It's complicated. It's complicated.
I almost see this as like a break for them.
It could be. Like
the way that this issue has surfaced, I don't know if they're going to get to a place where where either of them honestly feel comfortable enough like marrying this person.
And I don't know if that's because I've seen no real tension up until this point, but that's could be it because thing. And I think even more so from his point to her. It'd be hard, I think, for her to go like, I'm ashamed of what I did. And should she be going around talking? I don't know. Like,
there are people that feel that way.
There are people that feel that way.
But
then, and he's not asking that from her, but he's very much not in the military camp whatsoever.
Yes.
You know, he didn't do it, wouldn't do it. I judge people that do it.
And he said, I would not be with someone who was an active service member.
That's a lot different than former, though.
But it's not for her because she thought about going into the reserve, and she's only a couple years out.
Yeah.
Like, that's not that far away from her.
Yeah, that's complicated.
And it doesn't sound like she would have a massive problem other than, like, I think she basically insinuated, like, the culture was not for her when she tried to go back to the reserve. But, like, it doesn't sound like she would have a big moral or ethical issue based on that conversation going back and working for the military.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem for him.
It's more the culture shift than the actual task or mission itself.
Yeah.
Right? That's like the culture of the military that doesn't feel good for her. That is so complicated.
It's big shit,
That's an interesting argument at the end of that episode.
Yeah. That's big shit. To me, that's like...
That's huge.
Potentially relationship ending shit.
I agree.
I don't know that I just feel like that would probably be, if that's the decision they make, that would probably just be a reasonable decision. I don't feel like one of them is like,
yeah, I hear you.
wrong and the other one's right.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know how, for some people, I don't know how you reconcile that. And I think for both of them, it's like, how do you reconcile that kind of situation?
That's complicated. It's complicated. That is so complicated.
And
Monica can want flowers all she wants, but this is a way bigger thing than I wish you'd buy me a couple more flowers.
And how do you like... It's hard because they just moved. They actually had a bunch of complicated conversations in one. They had the religion conversation.
It shifted so quickly.
And that they both, I mean, you can't say they don't handle complicated conversations well. They both do, right? Like, they sat in the discomfort around the religion conversation. They were able to come to a place where, because she clearly is, in my opinion, is clearly pretty, like, not wanting any religion in her like ceremony, and yet was willing to come to a compromise with his mom because it is for her too. I mean, like, both of them being really, really reasonable, but then sometimes you come to a place where it's like, yeah, I like you, yeah, we're able to communicate, but like our viewpoints are so drastically different on something that feels so close to my heart that I just can't, like, I can't do it.
I hear you. I feel like we could touch on the other stuff today, but I feel like we leave it at our reactions because I don't know that anything's as big to talk about as that last conversation.
No, nothing's as big as that last conversation. Nothing. I feel like people are going to have lots of feelings about it.
People can have lots of feelings.
Oh, man.
I mean, you kind of heard where our positions are, like military family, non, and then like, you know, we're kind of like, we hear what they're talking about for sure. One more thing I was going to say about their interaction with it is that I think even though it was a tough conversation, they handled it pretty well.
It did.
Because there was a clear disconnect on how they felt about like current and active troops, basically.
Right.
That's the biggest disconnect. And neither of them was really apologizing or backing down from their position, but they were also not being insensitive to the other person.
Yes.
They were like, this is a feeling I have. And they're like, well, this makes me feel away. And he's like, okay, well, I don't want you to feel that way, but here's where I am.
Yeah.
It was, I thought, handled pretty well.
It's tough, man. It's hard sitting there watching her be like, I feel like I'm being judged by you right now. And like, that's a hard thing. Because there's so many things I can imagine that could happen over. You know, it sucks to watch her like feeling judged for how she spent a good portion of her life.
And perhaps even more importantly, how she feels about people that she worked with.
Yeah.
Or that are still out there, you know?
Yeah. And how you reconcile not supporting like everything the U.S. does militarily while also supporting the troops, which she does. And he didn't comment, but
he leans on doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't support the troops, which whatever.
Well, I don't even know. What does that mean?
I don't know. Like,
he doesn't support the military.
Support the troops is like a sloganification of like a really big philosophical concept on whether or not you're agreeing with like massive forms of like violence and control in the entire world. Like it's a complicated issue.
I would be shocked if he's someone that doesn't support like mental health help and support for
like
people
VA
when they come back and VA benefits.
Like
it would shock me if he doesn't support that kind of stuff, which is supporting the troops. It's just like different than the way she means it, I think.
Well, America.
I'm interested, actually, if anybody that's watching...
That's my eagle call.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for that.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm interested if anyone watching has served in the military, because neither of us have, like, how you feel about the conversation that they had.
Yeah.
Because I can, like, empathize with her, but I don't understand what it would feel like to sit there and, like, have that kind of, like, you know...
coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I guess on the other side of it too, like if you're someone that maybe your family or you have been affected by like U.S. military operations negatively, like how...
Or if you just care about them
feel.
in a particular way. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm really interested in what people's opinions are on that, because that was a huge conversation.
Yeah, that was big.
Like massive.
So yeah, just a little light convo down below.
Try
to keep it relatively respectful of each other.
Yes, please be respectful of each other. Like we're gonna have like...
There's some tension.
There's gonna... Right. So just remember like everyone's people, you know?
Humanity, just try and recognize people's humanity.
Yeah. Right.
And otherwise go off.
Don't go off. Don't tell them go off.
No, go off. We just said like in a way that is respectful to other humans.
But I think like a bomb going off. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe just trickle.
Okay, whatever.
You know?
Have fun down there. And
sprinkle yourself in the comments section.
Sprinkle yourself in the comments section. Just like a little dot in here and there.
I am really curious though. And I'm hoping that people can like... I'm just you know, I'm hoping it doesn't get too... Sometimes people fight about the weirdest stuff in our comment section, so... And this one's actually a big one.
Yeah,
so...
yeah, right. So please tell us.
Yeah.
And then give us a like and subscribe. Continue to watch the show with us. Habibi coming out tomorrow.
I'm excited for Habibi.
Habibi. I was saying to you, I'm kind of getting burnt out on the American version.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the foreign versions because for me, I'm learning about people's culture.
I was getting burnt out until this conversation happened, and now I'm a little bit more energized.
This was pretty interesting. This is interesting.
Because this is why I watch this stuff. Like I watch for like the hard stuff.
The hard convos that sort of force it.
And it forces me to think about it too. Like I'm still currently thinking about it. We'll probably be thinking about it for a little while.
Dog is getting antsy. We'll see you next time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Bye.
And then I got it knocked, and I started going,
ridiculous.
All those tearjerker.
Hey, we're gonna go on a cruise this summer. You should come with us.
He's taking me thrift shopping later, and I feel like I should buy something horrifying.
Why? You always do. Doesn't matter what season it is. I'm like, do you need that? I said I'd take you. I didn't say I was going to be thrilled about what you're buying. No, I'll be.
Sometimes you find really good stuff.
Yeah.
Like one time I found, you know, those things that they make that are supposed to feel like real fur. I found one of those, but a jackalope. So it's this little guy, and he's like the real fur, you know.
If you've been around since the beginning, you may have seen the jackalope in previous videos. It showed up a few times.
You never know what you're going to find. Rudy, right? You never know what you're going to find in the thrift store. That was $1.
Did you name him Rudy?
I did name him Rudy.
Okay.
Like if you used to go to the mall when you were younger... and you're about my age, man, the mall was full of those kiosks with those real fur animals. I never remember seeing a jackalope, but I remember being obsessed with them. Okay, that's a tangent that doesn't need to happen.